here in my socks that probably need to be washed from South Dakota. They are so big, you couldn't fit them into a clown shoe. I mean, they're huge, but they keep my feet warm. Can you hear me? Just me said no sound. I have no sound? Let's try this again. Can you hear me? Okay, Lockdown said you sound fine. Just me said she can't hear me. Whoop. All right, we got that out of the way. I don't know what was going on. Just me couldn't hear me. I guess it was just her. Ha ha ha. All right, so lots going on. I actually put out 3 videos this morning. Now I'm no Steven Spielberg, but kind of getting the hang of that. We'll still be doing lives. Hold on one second. The minute I get busy doing something, my cat needs something. And like the good trained owner I am, I get right up and do it. Hastily sometimes. So anyway, I put out a video it's an update about the 4 men that were murdered in Okmulgee. We'll be having another live about that shortly, not today. About a little girl in Houston. I don't know if you all caught it. She was murdered by her mother on Sunday. Words cannot describe how disturbed I am by that situation. Not taking anything away from Quentin and what we have going on today, but go check it out. I think we can all agree that this woman who believed a toaster was her purse had no business around a child. Any living anything, okay? Then I had all kinds of stuff popping up. A woman who weaponized bees to fight off the sheriff's department from evicting someone. So it's been a wild morning. So you ask, what the hell? How did you get all those videos out this morning? Well, I feel like one of the Golden Girls. I kind of got comfortable last night. I was doing some work, had the laptop on my lap, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to go back to bed and do this. You know, I'm wide awake. I don't want to sit here in this computer chair or whatever. It didn't take too long, and I was asleep at 6:30 at night. So at the time when most people, normal people, are going to bed, I pretty much had about a half a night's sleep. So I have been up. Now I've got to get through the whole day. So I'm not asleep at 6 o'clock like a Golden Girl again tonight. Has this ever happened to you guys before? My sleep's all messed up. I've already had a pot of coffee. Fun to Ski said, the Texas mom very disappointed. The Texas mom, it's up to you guys if you want to do a live about it. It's totally up to you because it is such a hairy case. Disturbing. They're all disturbing. Don't get me wrong. It's epic fails in so many directions. Nicole's family, the girl known as Nicole. I don't know the girl's real name. Known as Nicole. So we have that, okay? The mom has been institutionalized 9 times. There's a dad that's on the news trying to get sympathy. That's not going to work around here. He hasn't met us yet. Other family members saying that they knew something was going to happen to her. And I was like, what? Did you read the Dawn Wells how-to book, how to talk to the media when your children go missing? Did she get that from Dawn? What the hell's going on here? You have a judge who's running for re-election, I believe, and the campaign is he's tough on crime, so he gives a woman who's been institutionalized 9 times living in a tent a $15 million bail. Might as well made it 10 gazillion. What's it matter? It could have been $50. She can't pay it. She's not going to. She didn't know how. There's so many, many, many things wrong with it. I'm afraid YouTube would shut me down 10 seconds into the show. I've probably already said too much. I'm probably going to get a nasty little email from them after this. Mentioning the judge will probably get my ass in a ringer. So anyway, besides me being one of the Golden Girls last night, these insane videos I put out this morning. It's astonishing you guys show up every morning. It really is, with the stuff that goes on. Absolutely nuts. Yesterday, crazy day. Almost surprised you guys and just jumped in here and did a live at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My blood pressure, I was already so wired. It was like a new sewing machine around here. I was wired for sound. I was so mad after the show about the epic fails in Hawkins County, the Summer Wells case. So I was already, I was already lit up like the 4th of July. I was so mad. Y'all heard me on the show. Then all this stuff starts coming out about a party on Tybee Island. Party on Tybee Island. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I'm on Twitter now. So I was getting some Twitter notifications. Yeah. So it's a little too disruptive at the house. So they go 20 minutes to the beach, a very beautiful area, by the way. Beautiful area. Gorgeous. Some consider it exclusive. There's some very gorgeous islands off the coast of Georgia. Cumberland is one where JFK Jr. got married. So frickin' frack. Go down to Tybee Island to Stingrays and some place called Wet Willie's, I think. And they're shit-faced. Flirting with a waiter, taking selfies, disrupting other patrons. They made themselves known. Let me put it this way. They made sure everybody knew they were there. Such a disruption that most people who don't follow the news noticed them and realized who they were. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're shameless. This isn't just about Leilani. Billy's gotten a lot of hate since Quentin went missing. They were staying at a hotel. Police came out to see him. They complained, Billy, that the news anchor, Brett, from WSAV, was annoying her. Annoying her? She's the one that messaged someone when the police said they had evidence to lead them to believe that Quentin's no longer alive. She messaged someone that she actually doesn't even really know, doesn't know in real life, met through her grandson's disappearance, and said, Quentin has passed, as if he'd been struggling with pneumonia, if you know what I mean. Quentin has passed. My daughter done it. They think he's in the landfill. Same daughter who done it, she's getting drunk with on Tybee Island. By the way, the link is pinned. Don't be shy. I've got a couple people backstage right now. Curtis, you'll be up first. Let's take a look here, and then I'm going to go through some comments. This is Tybee Island. Look at that, Ariel. Isn't it beautiful? Who wouldn't want to spend a few days there? Toes in the sand. It sounds like a Kenny Chesney song. Let's all break out right now. Kicking around the ocean water. Getting some drinks. You know, walking around the cool, nice ocean air. Very exclusive, very beautiful area. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's only 50 degrees there this morning, too. You could be having a mimosa right now, watching the sun come up. It's probably already up there because it's up here. It's just beautiful. Savannah, that area is just gorgeous. Impeccable. Old South, beautiful. 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 There's Tybee Island. This is Waste Management, Savannah, Georgia. This is where they are looking for Quentin. This is a big difference. It is a big difference, night and day. The EPA says the average American, environmental protection, the average American throws away 4.4 pounds of trash a day. They haven't even started with businesses, industrial parks, and everything like that. Remember, the trash is picked up every day. Whether it's picked up at your house or not, it's picked up somewhere every day going to a landfill. This particular landfill services 150,000 residents of Savannah, Georgia, who in the last 2 weeks have still been throwing things away. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going? Also, surrounding communities like Tybee Island. They're still throwing away diapers, pizza boxes, paper plates, cleaning up from birthday parties. We throw things away, toilet paper rolls. I mean, it's not a clean thing. I don't want to get too graphic. You know, some adults wear diapers. There's all kinds of things that people throw away. So it was estimated that between the morning that Quentin went missing up until when the search started, because I think the dogs hit on his scent Friday, I believe. Don't hold me to that. Of course, they had to bring in the specialists, start cleaning stuff out because they do daily compaction. Over 8 million pounds of trash were put in this. So as they are meticulously going through piece by piece by piece, because it doesn't sound to me, and this is a trigger warning, I'm not going to put it up on the screen. As they're going through piece by piece by piece, because this particular waste management does daily compaction, sometimes several times a day. They're not going to find probably what you are picturing in your mind. He looks totally different. They had to call in agents from Quantico that specialize in what they're dealing with. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. Also, remember, we're still throwing things away. So they have to shut down that entire section of the landfill and move everything around because people aren't going to stop throwing things away, correct? They can't stop picking up the trash in Savannah, Georgia, Tybee Island, and surrounding communities because it's a health hazard. They had to figure out what the hell to do so they could get out there. It's the most insane, depraved, horrific. I just can't even imagine what's going through her brain. Not only did she do the unthinkable to her child, and I don't believe it was an accident because you don't cover up accidents. She's got the EPA, FBI, agents from Quantico. The chief looks like he's about to have an aneurysm going through the landfill. It is absolutely nuts. Impossible to even think of. Country girl, I see you. You can turn your camera off, girlfriend. All right, I'm going to go through some comments from the last show. Let's take a poll real quick. Hello, I see you. You just came in. Who thinks he's at the landfill? Some people say they don't think he's even at the landfill. I think he's at the landfill because of the dogs, and they have, I think, a camera footage of her at a dumpster. But a lot of people don't. Let's take a poll. Who thinks he's actually at the landfill? Would it be the first time that law enforcement spent a ton of money on a search And well, the person they were looking for wasn't there. It's crazy. It breaks my heart. All right. After the last show we did for Quentin, where Summer said, "It's okay. I don't care how long it takes to find baby Quentin or when. But those two monsters," she said, "as long as those two monsters are arrested, as long as these two monsters never walk out of a jail," oh, she's talking about the death penalty, "I will be okay with that. I believe this police department is doing a mighty fine job right now because when they do get them, they won't see daylight again." I agree with that. Wonder why I wonder why Leilani is not in jail, at least in North Carolina. The people in North Carolina could come pick her up right now because she's on probation. She's obviously broke her probation just for not being able to produce her child. I mean, I would like her arrested sooner than later, but of course, I'm being selfish. I also want to make sure it's an airtight case. T Walk said after Danny heard that Quentin was missing, he hightails it to Atlanta and leaves his 4-month-old baby with Leilani when he knows that she was responsible for Quentin's disappearance. This comment blew me away because it is such a jaw-dropping truth. Think about that. Old Danny, who says he didn't know about the text, he didn't he didn't send the text. Last he saw was Quentin sleeping in the pack and play. I have a feeling Quentin was not asleep. All hell breaks loose. He gets interrogated. Supposedly he took a polygraph and passed it. Whatever, I don't care. He goes to Atlanta. You know, he thinks he's a rapper or something. So him and his rapper buddies in Hotlanta, they're all playing pool, talking all kinds of shit about Leilani. She's a psycho. She's crazy. I'm so glad I'm away from her. But he left his baby there. I don't think I'd give Sky to him. I don't think I'd give Sky to him. That's got negligence written all over it. I would have grabbed that my baby daughter, said, "Look, I don't have my own place because I've been shacking up here with Leilani and her crazy mom. She wanted me evicted last month. Quentin's missing. All the lights aren't green around here, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to take my baby daughter and I'm going to go to my mom and dad's house. They would love to have us. Mom can watch the baby. I'll go play pool with my friends in Hotlanta." He didn't do that, though. He left the baby with Leilani and Billy after he already knew. He already had been interrogated. He already knew which way they were going. He already knew. T-Walk also says it takes time to organize a proper search like this one. Bring in proper equipment and bring in the proper people to search. He said they didn't take 3 days off before searching. They used the time to be able to search properly and efficiently. That has what's been explained on the news over and over. However you feel about it, that's just how it is. It's awful. And as heated as I get about this subject, I'm really honing my anger at the two imbeciles, failures as parents, failures as mothers, Billy and Leilani. Never in a million years did I think someone could make Candace Wells look like a decent person. I never thought that. Never thought that could happen. Crazy. So I'm going to bring up Curtis real quick and see if now we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. You know, he was at the house. He was told the whole story about the doors being open, the ADT thing. Let's get his take on what has unfolded since then, shall we? Hello, Curtis. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you this morning?
Good. So I've just talked to you a little bit the last, well, I guess week or so. What do you think with everything that's transpired with them, the FBI saying that we have evidence from the house telling us that Quentin is not alive? You're local. They're searching your landfill.
Well, for number one, at first I was there I was on the side of the grandparents, but now my perspective has changed greatly on the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Almost speechless about it because I mean, really, I went all to battle for them to find out they're out here partying. I mean, for real, there's no way.
Well, I mean, if you look on the screen, this is one of the many, many, many pictures that the FBI has been putting out of the search. This looks like something out of a scary movie.
Yeah.
All right.
I really don't know what else to say. I mean, like I say, I don't watch local TV or nothing. I've just been reading up on it. It's just
awful.
if that's the word to describe it.
I can't find an adjective. I can't. Can you guys give me an adjective? This is crazy. I mean, I just keep saying it. It just makes me so mad.
But I don't know. It was just too. It was starting to get too much to me. It was coming on to me too much. I had to back out of it. I haven't spoke with the family no more or anything. It was starting to consume me practically.
Mm-hmm. This tweet was put out yesterday, I imagine, because you're standing where more than likely a crime was committed. And you know what the crime was because they're meticulously, little by little, going through the landfill. I don't know.
I still believe the pool has something to do with it.
Really? How come?
I just do for some reason. That back door open from that time frame and that pool right there, for some reason I still want to believe that pool has something to do with this whole situation.
And I would want to believe that too if I was you and I met these people.
I mean, out of negligence, out of something, I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like the pool has something to do with it.
Well, on the screen, this was what Brett Buffington, WSAV. He's been on News Nation a couple times lately. He said, this is a direct quote from the chief. We believe that Quentin was placed in a dumpster at he puts in quotes, known location. Then
I think they're
to the dump.
I think they're talking about one right there at a place called Azalea Mobile Home Park, which is right down the road from their house.
So known location, is that,
I'm thinking that's the one that they're talking about. For some reason, I've heard that. I don't know if it was on something in the background, but it seems like I've heard that place. There's a gas station, and then there's a trailer park right behind it, and there's dumpsters there.
How far is it? I know I've heard before, but I don't have it in front of me. How far is it from the house?
From their house, just minutes. My
Minutes.
My aunt used to live there when I was a kid.
It makes you wonder how they can hoop and holler, order shots, flirt with waiters when there's such a horrific apocalypse now looking scene at the landfill. And I mean, here's Leilani. I mean, they're taking shots. They were singing. I mean, how?
Well, I mean, like I said before, there was no emotion of hurt, pain, or nothing coming from her until the back door was mentioned. And you seen her change some body language, but her doing that doesn't surprise me one bit at all.
And you wonder what could her motive have been. Now, you think an accident happened at home and she's covering it up, perfectly fine, because we agree to disagree around here.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I've never heard of a case, unless I just can't find it, and I've been asking, where an accident happened at home and the family, the mom, the dad, whoever, grandma, went to all kinds of lengths to hide it. A fatality accident. I can't find one. I mean, then I go back to what we talked about on the show the other day. During the Casey Anthony trial, when Dr. G, the medical examiner, was on the stand, Jose Baez was really pressing her about this accident at home theory. Accident at home. It was an accident and Casey covered up. That's really what he was trying to get across. Didn't work, but anyway. She held it together, but she was angry. She said that she's done many countless autopsies on children that have had accidents at home, primarily drownings. And she said even crack cocaine addicted mothers called 911.
Yeah, true that. I don't know. I look at it in three or four different ways. Angry, slap the kid around, hurt him. The pool, or they got into drugs.
Mm.
I mentioned that before. Those are about the only three things I could come up with. Knowing the drug situation, knowing the pool, and hearing of them a lot of arguing in the house. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but I'm going to be honest about it. Since a lot more of this has been coming back, I kind of like I said, I had to back away from it. It was causing me too much stress just even thinking about it.
Well, I imagine because you met him. I mean, you met him. It would stress me out too. I mean, not that Quentin was anywhere around there. We have a pretty good idea where Quentin was at the time and is right now. I just, of course, we saw Casey Anthony getting tattoos, partying for a month because she wanted to be footloose and fancy free. It was many times about how she was jealous about the bonding between her own mother and Haley. There was a big jealousy there. Candace Wells, I can't wrap my mind around her. Letitia Staunch had a huge resentment for the fact that she was the stepmother raising Gannon and his mother wasn't pulling her weight, I guess is the way she looked at it. I don't know. Leilani, I don't think wants to go do her own thing because she hurt one child. And I'm saying that lightly. We know it's way more than hurt. I know there's the issue with the child support, but she still owes $75 a month. And I don't see that Billy was going to hold her to that $150 a month anyway. If anything, with their toxic relationship, it seems to me that Billy was just going to hold it over her head. Hey, at any time you don't do what I say, I'm going to let them know that you're this many months behind in child support. I mean, I don't know, or just give it right back to her. I don't know. They are so toxic. There's such a rinse and repeat relationship.
Well,
We Go ahead.
well, the problem is also is I'm looking at it on now. A lot more has come out. How? How can you be partying it up with your daughter when you put on your Facebook or whatever? She killed the baby's dead in Lonnie. I mean, I don't know. It just how how can Billy look at her daughter and go out and party with her knowing that baby dead, and she publicly blamed her daughter for it.
She did. She did. I think it's right here. She says, yeah, Quentin has passed. She's got 4 emojis. He is in a landfill, and my daughter done it. She has no memory of it, is what she said.
How are you partying with the killer of your grandchild?
Uh-huh. It's almost like she's taken her on one last hoorah. You know? One more fun adventure before because they all know she's going to get arrested. Is Leilani, is she that disconnected that she doesn't understand? Or is she thinking they're never going to find him there? And there is a very good chance in that landfill they're not going to find him.
That's what I was thinking also. Not only, I mean, if Simon was there, how much dumping was done before they stopped it?
They stopped, I don't know when, because they obviously have to rearrange. They can't have trash dumped there for obvious reasons, because you have people there looking for Quentin. I mean, if you do the math, it's over 8 million pounds of trash that have been dumped since October 5th. And remember, they do daily compaction. I imagine once they got the hit from the dog, they said, okay, it's time to start rearranging where you put the trash because we're on our way.
How long was that?
I don't know.
That's my question. How much trash was dumped? How much was done before they said, all right, we got to stop?
I have no idea. I'd like to ask Leilani that, though. I'd like to ask her that. When you put him in that dumpster at the mobile home park, have you done the math as to how much trash was dumped on your son?
No, I'm just talking about during the day at the landfill site. Before they stopped and said, all right, no more trash here.
In that one area where the dogs picked up his scent?
Yeah.
I think that came out on Friday. Let me see if there's a date on this. Let me see if there's a date on this. The date's cut off.
You talking about the Friday before I met them that Saturday?
Oh, no.
No,
Actually,
okay.
I don't know. From when the dogs picked the scent up, I don't know how long that they stopped dumping trash in that area at the waste management landfill. I don't know. I have no idea. If I had a date on this, it would help, but it's cut off. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I was just looking at this. If they kept running and running and running and running and using the spot until they said stop, I mean, that's what I was saying or asking. I wonder how long this went on before they realized, okay, we need to stop dumping.
Well, let's say that they stopped before the weekend, before the agents came in from Quantico. So let's say
that's a week after.
Well, the 14th, so 9 days.
Yeah.
9 days. There's over 150,000 people in Savannah. I don't know how many people are on Tybee Island and the surrounding communities that.
Plus, I think our trash service out here dumps there too.
Mm. Well, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm going to put this video in the background. This is from a guy who works there, and he made a video. You can just see how huge this place is. Hang on, I'll turn the sound down because it's very, very loud. It'll just run in the background. You can just see him coming in to work because he has he drives a dump trash truck, and it's just huge. This place is massive.
Did they ever release which waste management yard that is? Is that Little Neck Road?
That I don't know either.
Because that's a real big one here. Right down the probably about 30 minutes from my house, if it's Little Neck Road.
Mm-hmm. None of your business said it's Little Neck Road.
Yep, Little Neck Road. Yeah, that's a big place.
It's huge, huge. And I heard yesterday it was on Twitter. I don't know if it was Brett Buffington or just the news, like they're just collaboratively, can't say the word, Twitter account. They said that they were told that it could take weeks. It could take weeks. And I mean, when the chief said that, I was like, he's just trying to, get everybody off his back, because you can just imagine what his email and phone messages look like. And he said it's not going to be a few days. When he said that in the press conference, well, then it was said yesterday, this could be weeks.
Mm-mm.
I think this country girl is backstage. Let's see what she's doing. Hello, welcome to the show and to the panel. Been hoping you would come up here sometime.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what are you making of all of this?
From the beginning, it gave me big time Casey Anthony vibes, especially when the pool started being mentioned, because in that case, they said that the baby had gotten into the pool and she drowned, and then they covered it up. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if that's the direction we're going to take with this.
Well,
and I hope not.
Well, but I guess she can try that. I was going to say when they do an autopsy, but the problem is going to be doing an autopsy. I'm not trying to be gross or grim, callous or anything like that.
Oh, sorry if you heard my chicken, Steve.
Steve the chicken.
Yeah, Steve my house chicken.
Like what we're talking about. I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. But to me, all the lies and to even concoct a story, I mean, I'm not going to buy the insanity plea, period. Not that it matters what I think. You know what I mean?
No, and I feel like the mom was kind of laying the groundwork in that message, saying that she doesn't remember anything. It's almost like she was beginning the story of insanity. Mm-hmm. I don't buy it.
Her mom was, because her mom said, I mean, right off the bat, she said people don't understand mental illness. Then it was leaked, was not supposed to be leaked, so I don't even want to really talk about it. But it's already out in the air, that she has untreated bipolar. They made sure to get that out there. Then, of course, Billy's saying that she has no memory of this. Well, we know what they're alluding to. Then we have this mother in Houston who's been institutionalized 9 times. They're not going to let her run with the insanity plea.
Right.
They're not going to let her run with it here either, I don't think.
I hope not. I mean, I don't know. This case, it's such a mess. It's such a mess. And the way the grandma's acting now, I mean, I hope at some point she gets some sort of charge for this, because those boys were supposed to be in her care.
Yep.
And she knew that they shouldn't have been left with her, but she left them with her. There's got to be some culpability in that, I would think.
And that's what I keep wondering too. When they make an arrest, which I believe they will arrest Leilani at some point, is anything going to happen to Billy? I'm not trying to wish worse on this family, but there's got to be justice for this little boy.
Exactly. There has to be accountability for everybody that should have been looking out for that little boy. And she was their legal guardian.
Yep.
So she has to have at least a small amount of accountability. I mean, no, like you said, do I want to see more people charged in this family? No, but I mean, she won't be charged on the same level as Leilani, but there has to be something. She has to be accountable for something.
I think when they find Quentin, I have a feeling she's going to be held more than accountable. I mean, the chief, he looks like he's going to just break down and just start bawling at any minute.
I know that, and I have a lot of respect for the police in this case. I really do. You can tell that they're very invested and they have thrown so many resources at this. I do wish there was a holding charge that they could bring Leilani in on and just hold her on that until they find him. But I understand that they want an airtight case against her when they do make the arrest. But it's hard to see her out there just living her life. And then to see that against the image of these people digging through a landfill looking for her baby.
And how does that not affect the two of them? It's making me sick to my stomach.
Oh, yeah, it's horrifying to watch. It's horrifying. And then when I saw the pictures of her out and hearing the stories of how her and her mom are acting, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I guess I understand getting out of the house,
Yeah, but to go out and party? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to give Dawn and Candace Wells such hell for getting drunk every night and prank calling people every Tuesday night. We got it.
Yep.
Every Tuesday night. Like I said a little bit ago, I never thought that there was another human being that could make Candace look somewhat decent. We found one.
I had to laugh when you said that because you're right. I mean, you look at those two, and for almost, a year and a half now, they've been like the poster parents of this is absolutely the worst you could possibly be. And then here comes Leilani.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy.
Did you see old Billy when the police were talking to her yesterday and she got annoyed with the news reporter? Look at her. What the hell, Billy?
Oh, geez. Good grief. No, I think some divine justice would be if those kids got put up for adoption and that babysitter got them and raised them right across the street. And they had to see those kids being taken care of the right way. They'd probably move.
That is unless Billy has to go to jail for probably, I would say, no more than 6 months. And in this debate about Billy, she's sitting there on her motorcycle. She has a helmet on because, we don't want to, we fall off the motorcycle. We don't want to bump our head and get a concussion or anything. We don't want Billy hurt.
No.
But she think about the safety of Quentin when she left him with Leilani. That didn't cross her mind, but she's going to make sure nothing's going to happen to her. She's got a helmet on.
Well, I mean, she don't want to hit her head and then she forget everything that happened too.
God forbid.
No, this whole thing is ridiculous. Even go back to when she busted in on the babysitter and was accusing her of having Quentin or selling Quentin and the whole memorial thing. It wasn't a memorial. She wanted to pray like that they found him. I mean, this lady just, I mean, she went off the edge immediately. And
And what
I get it. I mean, if my grandchild was missing, I don't have any yet, but hopefully soon. Um, if my grandchild was missing, yeah, I would be like off my rocker too, but I'm not going to be busting into people's houses accusing them of selling my grandchild.
No, no. And also, see, Billy, because we listened to it several times, and I can't remember who it was that caught it when she said, you were supposed to help me. So she was blaming Diana for her daughter being alone with Quentin.
Right.
And I still don't understand when the new arrangement was made. Maybe you know, because you're really good at following these cases. When the new arrangement was made, so instead of 24/7 with Diana, that Leilani was getting the children at night. Because I wouldn't be drinking at Stingrays with Leilani right now if I knew that I had made that decision and given that permission. There's no way.
Right. I mean, I know, there was the time that she had said that she wanted the babysitter to take them. Then she changed her mind and was like, no, I want Leilani to be able to do, I guess, try to be a mom or whatever. But if you get a text in the morning saying you're not going to have the kids today, well, what is she supposed to think? She's not going to be like demanding, no, you have to bring them over here.
Well, and I wondered about that too. I mean, at one point, every time she does a Facebook Live, and I've missed the last 2 or 3, she says, I'm just the babysitter. I know I'm just the babysitter. So I don't know if that has been thrown in her face, like, know your place. You're just the babysitter. Quit talking to the news. You had no right telling them that they texted you, told you not to show up. I don't know.
Right.
So,
Yeah, she does bring that up a lot, and it makes me feel really bad because you can tell that she cared a lot about those babies. And
and
she was the babysitter, but sometimes the babysitters are just, they're a huge part of these kids' lives.
they are, and I'm not calling anyone a liar because I haven't really heard how they met. They obviously live by each other. I don't believe the story that they met at church or whatever, or this whole relationship came about. Hey, can you watch the kids for me? I think we have kind of a Candace and Allie situation. I think they have been friends and have gone back and forth for quite a while. There, you would have to be extremely comfortable with someone to have a key to their home and to get so angry that you knew that you could just walk in the front door, bust in, whatever you want to call it. The police didn't do anything with Billy. I think
Right.
they're a lot better friends than what we know. I think they were friends.
Yeah, the story about, I think it was the babysitter met somebody at church that knew Billy, and then that was how her and Billy got together about them watching the kids, but they live, I mean, catty corner across the street. So it seems odd that it would take that to
You
connect
don't need to
them.
meet at church when you lived catty corner from each other. There was no reason for that story. It's not a
Right.
deal that they were friends before. It actually makes more sense.
Well, I'm glad the babysitter has all those cameras in her house and stuff, though, because I'm hoping police can see a lot of what she's described. I mean, if the kids were bruised up and had belt marks and, they were dirty and didn't have what they needed and all the stuff that she said, I hope that, the police can go through that and see that for themselves. And she said that she took pictures and sent them to Billy. So maybe she still has those pictures on her phone. I don't know, but yeah, I think there's more to the relationship there than what they're putting out, for sure.
I don't think it was known to CP or DFAX, whatever you want to call it. I don't believe it was known. I'm not taking up for the Child Protection Service at all in any state. The social workers, yes, I will, because we've had many, many, many of them on this show. who have explained the red tape, what they go through to get things done. And I'm sure there are a lot that don't need that job. But I'm not defending that system by any means. Because when I heard about the system in Houston and what happened to little Nicole today, I was like, I'm done. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to make sense of this. In this
Right.
case, I don't believe that DFACS knew that Diana was watching the children. I don't, for some reason, I just don't believe that they even knew that there was that arrangement. I don't believe they knew that Leilani was living at the house.
Yeah, I have a problem with that one too. Because if you look at the order for Billy, they weren't supposed to be with Leilani. So how is it okay for her to be living in the house? It doesn't make sense.
Zero. And I think
No,
it was,
and I mean, with the Child Protective Services, I mean, it's just like law enforcement, you know, there's good and there's bad. And they have a really tough job, and they do have red tape, and they have limitations. And no, I don't ever want to badmouth them, but sometimes they fail.
big
It
time.
happens.
Big time. That's a 3,000 square foot house. You're telling me when they come by and they know that they're checking for hot water, food in the fridge, and that the toilet's flush, and that the kids have diapers, and that the minimum standard of care is what it's called. It was explained on a show for Harmony Montgomery, and I about passed out when I heard it. It's a law. There is a minimum standard of care in every state. It's insane.
Wow.
So they make sure all that's done. Leilani could be hiding in a closet. They don't need to check the closet.
Wow.
You go
That's
to
scary.
a foster home, they have to have so many smoke detectors, a fire extinguisher, but mom and dad, mom or dad in most situations, mom in most situations, you would, I mean, look at Dawn and Candace's house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I worry about those other two. I'm glad they were removed.
Me too. And they're in the foster care system from what I'm understanding. And that's another thing. We know their names, Zane and Sky. You know, that's been I'm not doxing any babies. You know, I mean it was,
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know their names, and I know the dad's names. And so, yeah, it's all out there.
and it's going to be out there for the rest of their lives because they're always going to know that their mother, when they're old enough to understand and, you know, click, 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 get on the keyboard, they're going to know that their mother, while they were sleeping, threw the brother away.
Yeah.
They're going to know that the EPA, agents from Quantico, the FBI, and the local law enforcement had to shut down a huge chunk of their landfill to look for their little brother, big brother.
Yeah, and eventually they're going to go to school, and you're going to have kids, if they somehow didn't already know, you're going to have kids telling them. It's sad. It's going to be with them forever.
Forever. When they're old enough to understand, because there's always some mean ass kid.
Always.
Always.
Well, and I mean, think about, what did these kids go through? Did they just get lucky and not die? I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, we don't know what was going on in that house, and we don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard, you know, the NyQuil and melatonin stories, and it's disturbing.
Jaden was the babysitter before Diana and before CPS got involved. And he talked about the no wet wipes. This is when she was living at the trailer, but still driving the white pickup truck. She still got the white pickup truck. And because we saw her drive off in it.
That was a nice truck.
Yeah. Who gave that to her? Because she's never had a damn job.
That's what I wanted to know when I saw her in it. I was like, is that her truck? How
Probably
does she have
Billy.
such a nice truck and she can't buy milk and diapers?
Billy probably gave it to her. I'm just guessing. Billy probably said, here, you can have this truck. I'm going to go get a new truck. Because Billy's got that kind of champagne colored, you know, truck.
And her motorcycle.
with her helmet on. I'm like, she makes sure. She looks like Gomer Pyle. She makes sure to put that on her noggin, but didn't make sure that Quentin wasn't alone and Zane and Sky with her daughter, their mother. But she makes sure that her head is covered up for her to go down the road.
And I mean, I'm a mom. I'm more protective over my kids. My kids are grown. And my one son in the Navy, he's stationed out in San Diego and he just got a motorcycle. And I'm on him like, you need to get this and you need to get that and you got to be safe. And, he video called me to show me the helmet that he got and the gloves that he got and all this stuff. So, I worry about them more than I worry about myself. And I would think someday when I'm a grandma, I'm going to worry about those grandkids more than I worry about myself. But she's out there protecting herself, and I guess Quentin be damned.
Uh-huh. She is. She's making sure. I just still cannot believe that they went and partied it up on Tybee Island. Just sit in the house, really.
Or just get a motel room somewhere and sit in there. If you need to get out of your house, there's other ways to do it. You don't have to go to a bar and party and flirt and do shots.
They were flirting. Where is Billy's Facebook husband?
I don't know.
She had this motorcycle man with her, this older gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
But where is her Facebook husband? She just left him.
I was going to say maybe he just took off. I don't know.
So her Facebook husband. And
she don't want to be associated with he don't want to be associated with all this crazy.
That's probably it, because he actually seems like he has a little bit of common sense. I mean, he seemed the most disgusted. Billy looked pissed in her interview. Of course, she was crying and everything. She just looked like she could just bite through nails. He was the one just shaking his head, almost like he was going to look at her and say, told you this was going to happen. I bet there's been a few I told you so arguments between.
Oh, there has to be. I mean, they did the interviews and he was like, we can't trust her. She lies. She lies, And then the mom, she kind of said the same thing. But when the dad said it, I mean, I felt it. Like, I was just waiting for him to say it was probably her. It was like he knew right away. And Billy was kind of like, I don't know, like, I kind of at the time, given her the benefit of the doubt, was like, she doesn't want to think her daughter could do this. But deep down, I feel like she had to know. She had to know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a feeling when she got the call that they couldn't find Quentin, she already knows. I think that Billy already knew this was going to be bad news, and her daughter was responsible for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, remember Casey Anthony's mom? I mean, right off the bat, she knew she did something. She knew.
She even lied on the stand and said she was curious one day about chlorophyll.
Yes.
Prompted her to look up chloroform. That is not what happened, lady. You were worried that Casey used chloroform to drug her daughter, or Casey made that search. I think it turned out that Casey made that search because they had Cindy's records and she was actually at work at that time.
Yeah.
So but
if you go back to the beginning on that and you listen to those 911 calls from her mom, she knew. She knew. And then and that trial bothered me because why was she allowed to sit in there every single day when people were testifying, making notes? And it was like she was able to orchestrate everybody's testimony for that family. Mm-hmm. She knew exactly what to say. And I've never seen that allowed before because she hadn't even testified yet. It was bizarre.
Jeff Ashcroft messed that entire thing up. That was when, this is just my theory on it, this is just my opinion on it. That was when social media was really getting involved with true crime and following cases, he really fed into the comments and the hate for Casey Anthony. He didn't think there was any way in the world he could lose that trial, but he forgot the law.
Right.
He forgot the law. So when he is talking to a jury and Jose Baez is like, slam dunk, and I'm a night school lawyer. Reasonable doubt, you jerk. You
Yep.
can't even tell him how she died, but you want her to get the death penalty? They even went to Jose Baez and said, all right, we'll do manslaughter. He said, nope, death penalty or nothing. Because he knew there's no way in hell that they could convict her with capital murder.
Yeah,
He
that
screwed
case
that up.
was, oh man, that one tore me up. It was sad. Watching her walk out of that jail. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that doesn't happen here.
I don't think it will. I really don't for some reason. But I mean, they could make a lot of boo-boos between here and there. Where Summer said I called it from day one, and she did. I had not even gotten through the opening credits of the show, and where Summer 800 TBI Find was already in here. And yep, you called it from day one before I even said hello. On the first show about baby Quentin. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. So,
No,
also,
I think on the police end, like I said, it's upsetting to see her out there, and I wish they could hold her on some small charge, but I like that they're trying to get this as airtight as possible for the prosecution, and now we just have to hope the prosecution can carry the ball to the finish line and not mess it up, because I think the law enforcement side is working really, really hard to make sure she gets convicted.
they're taking, the chief at least looks like he's taking it real personal. The first press conference he had, you could tell he just didn't want to be there. He knew he
Yeah.
tried to address it, but he just didn't want to. He even was a little combative. I'm not going to ask my investigators every 2 minutes what's going on. Right now, we have no evidence of foul play. You could tell he knew what was up, but he couldn't say it.
Yeah. Well, it would be hard. I mean, think about it. I mean, I'm sure you're the same as me. When we cover these cases, especially the ones involving kids, it weighs on even us. And we're removed from it. But it takes a toll that's so heavy. The topic is so heavy. And to be there face to face with it every single day, and now with them at the landfill looking for this beautiful baby boy, I mean, it would have to be such an emotional toll. It would have to be.
And if they cannot find little Quentin in that landfill, they can still prosecute. It just, I don't believe they can ask for the death penalty without a body. They can,
Yeah, they can definitely still prosecute without a body. It might be
just no death penalty.
a little tougher battle, but in this case, I don't think so. I think they've got enough that they would definitely find her guilty. I mean, I think she could at least get life without parole.
Oh, I don't think she'll ever see the light of day. I think it'll be like Megan Boswell. I think they will let her sit on something and they'll just stack, and then hit her with the big one. That's just what I think. But like I said, I don't know. I can't see in the future. I just hope she never sees the light of day. And I really hope something is done with Billy, because it is high time that woman is shown a lesson.
Oh, definitely. I really want to see that happen. I don't want to see, because, they keep saying Leilani's the only suspect. And I get that, because they're talking about Quentin and what happened to Quentin. But Billy has to get something. She has to. She was the one that was responsible for the safety of those kids.
I mean, she's just done whatever she wanted her entire life. How can you have, or her adult life, and she's got she had a pretty wild time, 20 some years ago too. Seems like she moved past that, I guess. I mean, she has a son in jail for murdering her boyfriend.
Yeah, and that's who Quentin's named after.
I know.
This family is a mess.
now we're doing shots with yet another suspected murderer. She's just under suspicion. She hasn't been charged, but still. Then look at this comment real quick by Dana. Dana says, all of this can be used against her in court. She is helping build a solid case. I was thinking about that as well. I mean, it's no crime her going and having some shots with Billy.
No, but the optics sure are bad.
Uh-huh. Tacky AF.
Yes, it looks really bad. For both of them.
How mad the chief and those investigators must be. And let's not forget the men and women that are at the landfill looking for Quentin. They know this is going on. They've got to be fuming.
Yeah, I doubt they went out that night. After what they did all day. Yeah, I don't think they went out.
Nope. No, they didn't get to go to Tybee Island and soak their feet in the ocean, did they?
Nope. And if they did go out, I mean, they probably needed a drink after what they had dealt with all day. But if they did go out, they weren't having a good time flirting with waitresses and waiters and stuff. They were probably there to just try to deal with the magnitude of what they had seen all day.
I don't know how you would get yourself mentally geared up to do such a to do that job. For one, you're in a landfill, okay? You're in a hole in the earth, a huge one, and you know that you're looking for little Quentin, and you know why. I just couldn't imagine doing it.
No. I mean, when I saw the pictures, I flashed back to 9/11 when they had that conveyor belt thing and they were like sifting through just looking for little pieces of bone or whatever they could find for these families. Mm-hmm. And I remember then thinking, this is awful. This is absolutely awful. How I could not sleep at night after doing something like that. And to know, and like I said, I don't want to be graphic, but they're probably not going to find what we're picturing as like a baby. They're not going to find what we picture in our minds of Quentin. That's not what they're looking for.
Mm-mm. They do daily compaction. They bury trash there daily. It's awful. He's not going to be wrapped in a little blanket in a sleeper.
Mm-mm.
It's awful.
No, that light blue Sesame Street shirt and those black pants that he was supposedly last seen in. No. It's not going to be there.
Karma is a bitch said, I'm sorry, but they should make that family go and find the baby. Boy, I said that. I think Where Summer said it too. Give them the day off.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something to have them have to go out there and dig?
Yeah, crime.
That would be great punishment.
Yeah, crime never stops. Have law enforcement go back to the office, catch up on your paperwork or whatever. Someone's got to be having a retirement party. Get on that. Have Billy. I'd have grabbed him out of the Stingray and been like, "Oh, you guys want to? You want to get out of the house? I got something for you to do. Let me train you real quick."
Yeah, you guys got free time? Come on down.
Ridiculous. They're just disgusting.
It is. It made me sick to see that. It really did. I'm like, how could you? How could you?
I can't imagine. I mean, none of us can. I would be scared if somebody came in here and said they could imagine. I would probably pass out. All right. So on Twitter yesterday, Brooke Butler said, Tybee police tell me they were called out to Sandcastle Inn twice today. You know that hotel's hopping today.
Ooh,
They're getting phone calls, people driving by. Anyway, they were called out to Sandcastle Inn twice today over people shouting towards the motel. No arrests or reports were made. During one call, Tybee police said a woman who identified herself as Billy Joe told officers she was leaving and not coming back.
Oh, I bet she did.
How did her shot partner get home?
I mean, can't you almost picture her just marching up to them and being like, I'm Billy Joe and I'm leaving?
Oh, yeah. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Well, there she is. Look at her.
Right.
Little motorcycle helmet on.
Good grief. The nerve of these people.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm out of here. And that's her threat. Promise me with a good time. What are you talking about? Like we care. We don't want
Right?
you here. This is a nice place. People come here to vacation. We have business conferences here. We don't need you. We don't want you here. What is it like? It's some kind of threat. I'm taking my business elsewhere.
Right? It's like, see ya, bye.
Taking my child abuser, negligent, drug addicted, possibly a murderer daughter off this island. I'm out of here.
Yep. What's that saying? It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
She
Just
did.
go. Just get on out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she did. Oh, they had it on the news last night. I'm going to look at this clip real quick. Well, I said I was going to.
And you will see only on
If I can get stuff lined up right. Do I even have the right one up? I do.
20-month-old boy. Tonight, we are bringing you content you will see only on News 3. It is a picture of Quentin Simon's mom at a Tybee Island bar just hours after federal agents left a landfill looking for her child's body. So far, Leilani Simon has refused to comment on Quentin's death.
Leilani, do you have anything to say? Leilani, tell us where Quentin, what happened to Quentin?
Today, federal agents and police officers returned to a landfill for a second day to scour the property for Quentin's remains. WSCV's lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington is joining us live now from the Joint Task Force Command Center near that landfill, and that is where the search for Quentin continues.
And Tina, some dozens of agents. They just left for the day. They started at sunrise this morning. They will be back at sunrise tomorrow. They told us yesterday that this search, it could take days. This is the shot from above. Federal agents lined up, raking through garbage. Yesterday, this went on for hours. Today, this is the shot that is trending. That's Leilani Simon, the only suspect in her son's disappearance. Leilani, her mother, Billie Jo Howell, and others at a popular Tybee Island bar last night, just hours after the search for her son wrapped up. We've learned from the people who waited on them. They took shots, got flirty, and even demanded one waiter's phone number. The investigative unit with the shot showing the missed phone call. That number from Billie Jo Howell's cell phone. That grandmother today telling these Tybee Island cops, we were starting to annoy her. We found Billie Jo Howell leaving this Tybee Island hotel. She didn't stop to talk to us then, and though it says she read this message asking about last night, she didn't text us back either.
This is my baby, not yours!
It was just over a week and a half ago. Billie Jo Howell got into this emotion-fueled argument.
You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help.
Last night, the party, according to the waiters,
That right there, when she was yelling, I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Now, that's not a conversation you would just have with a babysitter you were paying $15, $20, $30 a day. This is a conversation. She's yelling at her friend, I really think. I think they are tighter before. I have a feeling that they're not liking each other very much right now. It doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. I think they are tighter than we were led to believe.
Well, and the amount she was being charged to babysit, $15 each for the boys and nothing for the girl. I mean, that screams friend to me, because that's really cheap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good point. I'll watch the baby for free, but throw me 15, 20 bucks so I can at least get some Happy Meals for the kids. Yeah. And like I said, it's not a big deal if they are. But when I hear about they have keys to each other's homes, little things have slipped out here and there that are like, who's got a key to my house? Oh, my friend.
Right.
My friend does.
like a good friend or family.
Mhm.
That's it.
Ran up a tab over $300 while protesters stood in front of the family's house demanding justice for Quentin. Listen, there are so many people asking tonight, why hasn't this mom been arrested? She's the only suspect in the case. The Chatham County Police Chief doubled down on what he told us yesterday, that when they file those charges in this case, if they file those charges in this case, they want to make sure that they don't get hung up on any technicality. Tina?
I think Brett Buffington's going to be really big. I don't think he's going to be in Savannah for too long. I hope they might want to talk to him about maybe a pay raise or something.
He's like the next Brian Enton.
I know. And he tags News Nation all the time. Just the name, Brett Buffington. He's got the look, the haircut. You know, I don't think he's going to be in Savannah for too long.
Probably not. Brett's my son's name, so you go, Brett.
Go, Brett. So, yeah, lots going on. I don't know what's going to come out today. I mean, they're obviously mad that nobody wants their asses on Tybee Island, and pretty much anywhere they go, they're going to get heckled, asked.
Well, that's what I thought, too. Did they think that they could just go wherever, especially in Georgia, and people were going to be okay with it? Yeah. Like, people aren't going to recognize them or know what's going on? I mean, come on. That'd be like something happening here, and we're just going to be like, hey, Brooks, you want to go hang out in, like, Oak City? No.
Well, you and I know what that is, so yeah.
Right. Let's go down to Bricktown. Nobody will know.
Nobody will know us, no. But we're going to go ahead and, blow $300 in one sitting.
Right, $300. That blew my mind. I hadn't heard that.
$300. Ask for some phone numbers.
Demand a phone number.
Yeah.
Like what?
Could you just imagine if that waiter just happened to be real hard up, if you know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Him with Fertile Myrtle?
Right?
And your crazy mom?
She'd pop up in prison pregnant.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised. See, and that's the one thing. I would want her in jail ASAP because I'm telling you, you could cough on Leilani and she'd get knocked up.
Right, she's what, 22?
Yeah.
And she's got 3 kids and they're all close in age. Yeah.
I know.
Prison baby could be on the way.
I was a young mom. I'm telling you, I had all 3 of my boys in 30 months.
Wow. No, I spaced mine out. There's 4 years between my boys and then, let's see, between the other 2, I think there's like 7 years between my youngest son and my daughter.
Hang on, Jules said something, and someone said, is she? No, she's not. I don't know that she's not pregnant right now that I've heard.
Oh, Lord, I hope not.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Hopefully they'll test her before they put her away.
Yeah, that would scare the hell out of me.
Oh,
well, I mean,
my God.
It's just going to be like if you followed the case in Florida with Morgan Keene and Argelio Pupo. When she went to jail, she was pregnant. She had her baby not this July, the July before. And I don't know who adopted the baby, but the baby is not with her for real.
I mean, with this case, nothing would surprise me. Nothing.
Mm-mm. Just business as usual for these two. It's the depravity.
Yeah, I mean, life goes on, right?
Yeah, the depravity were almost over, and it wasn't. Well, today, obviously, we're talking about it. Yesterday, we were the day before when we were talking. Of course, we've been talking in Discord and the Facebook group and everything. I said, how do these two carry on? How do you pass each other in the kitchen, if you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what's going on. You know she's going to wind up going to jail. How do you even have hey, do you want cornflakes or Cheerios for breakfast, Leilani? How? And then we see.
How do you even look at her? I wouldn't even be able to look at my child. I can't even imagine.
But then she takes her to Stingrays on Tybee Island $300 later, and they're all over Twitter, the idiots.
Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't Leilani paying that tab.
She didn't have time to scrape enough change at the gas station.
Right.
I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me, which thank you, keep it coming. We want to hear what's really going on. And they're like, she used to stand around this one convenience store asking people for change because she said she needed gas for her car. No, her mom puts fuel in her car. She was just
Good grief.
scraping together what she could. She wasn't buying baby wipes because Jaden said she would say, no, just wet the paper towels.
Well, the babysitter that they had now said that, she hadn't brought pull-ups. She hadn't brought milk for Sky. I mean, things like that. How can you not provide that stuff for your child?
But then she said she didn't really have anything bad to say about Danny. This is Diana I'm talking about, the babysitter,
Right.
the one from before.
Yeah, because didn't he ask if the kids had everything they needed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the only one that's his is Sky. But he was concerned about all three.
Mm-hmm. So she said, I don't really have a problem with Danny because Danny was the one that would say, she didn't mention Leilani that I remember. He would say, do they have wipes there? Do they have this? Do they have? So they weren't bringing a diaper bag every day it's like she was supposed to be set up for them at any time of the day.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And paying $15 a child ain't going to buy you all the stuff you need. Especially these days. I mean, it was expensive enough when I had my little kids, but now, $15 ain't going to go far.
Yep. I just think the whole thing is just disgusting.
It is. It's disgusting. And like I said, those images coming out from the landfill are they're horrific. Like you said earlier in the show, it's like a horror movie.
It is.
Oh, hang on.
We had some puppies fighting. We heard Steve the chicken and now some puppies. By the way, this Country Girl's Life also has a YouTube channel, covers a lot of different cases. So you guys, if you have a sec, go sub her up. What was I going to say? Until I was thinking about Steve the chicken.
Yeah, Steve the chicken. He's very popular.
Drinks.
He's like the mascot of my channel. Everybody wants Steve merch.
I need a mascot, but my mascot, when I go, somehow my cat knows when I'm live because she had this trick for a while. She would jump up on the coffee table and take her head and try to shut the computer down. She quit doing that though. She's not a fan. She's not a fan. She's not a fan.
Yeah, my dogs try to get up here and get on with me a lot. Stick their noses in so they can be on camera. But yeah, Steve, he's kind of a true crime fan. He likes Young and the Restless is his favorite show. But right now he's watching the Waukesha parade trial.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But it's funny because I'll mention certain names in certain cases and he'll start yelling, and it's really funny because it's like he don't like certain people, I guess. Like Sammy from the Kylie Rodney case. Sammy, yeah, he's not a fan of Sammy.
Sammy didn't score any points with anybody except for, the people in Truckee. And I am just fit to be tied. Besides what has happened in Hawkins County, I just can't get over just the gall, the human indecency of these two, who instead of just lay low and wait for the popo to come knock on the door and say, okay, we have what we need, time to go to jail.
Yep.
You knew this was coming down the pike. They hightail it to Tybee Island to get some peace and quiet. $300 and shots, trying to get phone numbers. Who would
Yeah,
even
it's like their last hurrah before prison.
And then what is this? People are bringing stuffed animals, candles, pictures of Quentin. They're setting up a little memorial. Billy, I don't know if she is this detached or if she is being a smartass. I can't figure it out. Said something about these nice toys for Quentin. No, I don't think anyone had it in their mind that they were thinking that he was going to come home and play with these things.
Right. I mean, I get, and you're a mom. We always try to think the best about our kids, right? But at some point, that denial it would have to stop. If one of your kids did this, you would have to at some point just be like, they really did this. This really happened.
I think she was at that point when she first gave her interview with the news. We've heard from everybody about Leilani, really. Well, and Danny,
yeah.
And Danny was there. I'm still not 100% on Danny. Are you guys 100% on Danny? That Danny has nothing to do with this? That all of this just went on behind his back?
I'm not. But didn't it strike you as odd when this all first happened, though, that we did hear from everybody, including the babysitter, but not Leilani? When a kid goes missing, the mom is usually out there pleading for their child. Not a peep from her.
It really took me aback. It brought me back to the arrest affidavit of Letitia Staunch, where they were talking about how they study social media history. This is a thing. I think we're going to hear about it with Candace Wells if they ever get their act together. And I think we're going to hear about it with Leilani. We heard about it in I think it was the probable cause affidavit for Megan Boswell. Anyway, they were talking about Letitia and how she's a very frequent social media poster. She would even Google terms when she's trying to be cute, trying to find memes and stuff. A lot of these memes were about how the stepmom is doing all the work type of memes. And, jabs at Al. She very frequent social media poster. Pretty much everybody knew what Letitia had going on because she posted quite frequently. So
right.
they were talking in the It's in the arrest affidavit, one of the many documents, about the time period, the day that Gannon went quote unquote missing. There was no logging in to Facebook. There was no posting. It was dead silence. She wasn't searching. She wasn't reading. She wasn't doing anything. It was dead silence on social media. And also, she didn't really use her social media to get attention for him being missing. So Leilani is sort of the same thing. Well, is the same thing. Because she would just throw up random pictures with the filters. Here I am with bunny ears. Oh, I've got a little black nose.
Yeah, and that one cute but psycho or something, pretty but psycho. I can't remember what it said, but yeah.
Pretty but psycho. Lots of pictures of her belly when she was pregnant with Sky. I mean, all of this stuff. Not one peep about Quentin being missing. Not a flyer. Not like in anything. Not a, can someone help me find Quentin? Nothing.
Yeah, that says a lot. I mean, that'd be like us if one of our kids was missing and we didn't get on our YouTube channel and didn't talk about it. I'd be on every platform I have.
Uh-huh.
And the news and anyone else that would talk to me.
Yeah. I'd be like, even if you hate me, do me a solid today and please, I've got to get this out there. I can't find my child.
And I mean, I would be out there searching constantly. I would not want to go home.
Well, because you know your child and you know just about how far your child can get away. That was always my thing with Candace Wells. Bears be damned. Snakes be damned. You know your own property. You're going to be looking for your own child.
Right. And I mean, you're scared of bears. How do you think your child's going to react if they see a bear? Get out there and rescue your child from the bear.
Yeah.
Find your child before the bear finds your child. I mean, no, it boggles my mind.
Uh-huh. And this too, I don't think there was a lot of searching for Quentin. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a big leap and say there was none. I think there was a lot of cleanup in the house. Hence why we saw the taped off windows with that black sheath.
For the luminol.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting, though, that they drained the pool. That's why I keep wondering about the pool. Unless that was just, a precautionary thing to just rule it out. Because they said it was murky. So maybe they couldn't see through the water. But, you didn't have people jumping in the water and searching the pool. They took that extra step and they drained the pool.
I didn't know if it was precautionary and they wanted to make sure he wasn't ever deceased in the pool. Like they were getting ahead of what they knew they were going to be lied to about.
Right. Yeah, when I saw him draining the pool, I was like, ooh, this isn't good. And that's when my mind started going the Casey Anthony route. Like, if they tried to say this boy got out there and drowned. And if that happened, though, just call the police. That's what I said with Casey Anthony when they were trying to do that with her. Why wouldn't you just call the police? Or call, the paramedics or somebody. Why would you try to hide that?
Mm-hmm.
And with Casey Anthony, her dad used to be a cop. There's no way they would have done what they did. They would have called the police.
No, she didn't do anything like that. Leilani's smart enough to call 911. She called 911 when she argued with her mother about laundry.
Exactly.
She knows how to call the police. It really sticks in my mind about when Dr. G, the medical examiner, was getting grilled by Jose Baez and she snapped. She was mad. I've done countless autopsies on children that have drowned. Accidents at home, crack cocaine mothers with warrants, mothers that were hiding from their partners have called 911. I've never performed an autopsy where the accident was a secret.
Well, and she kept bringing up the fact about the duct tape, that there would have been no reason to put duct tape around her nose and mouth. Dr. G was adamant about that.
There would be no reason, and there would be no reason to put Quentin in the dumpster at the mobile home park.
And then wait until after trash pickup to report him missing. Mm-hmm. That's pretty convenient.
And to make sure Diana doesn't show up. It's one thing for Diana to show up and say, we're frantically looking for Quentin, please help us. Or to
that would be a whole different story. This would be a completely different story if it had gone that way.
Mm-hmm. But nope.
Because she even said it was so unusual for her to get a text like that because they came every day. Regardless of what was going on, they were there every day. So what was different that day? That's why I can't take Danny completely off the table. Because if Leilani just suddenly, for whatever reason, wanted the boys there, he never questioned that. It was out of the norm. And you've got to look at patterns of behavior. That was not the norm. That was not their normal pattern of behavior. So when did it happen?
I think the accident, I'm saying in quotes, whatever happened, I think happened before she texted Diana. That's just what I think. I don't think that there was any plan hatched per se. But then
I don't either. But I mean, did it happen the night before? And they were like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to cover it up.
See, but then I don't see how Danny couldn't know anything and how he would be okay to go to Atlanta and play pool.
Exactly. Nothing about this adds up.
Oh, no, I go back and forth and back and forth. So, I mean, just like this tweet that Brett Buffington put out yesterday, because, the chief doesn't want to be asked anymore why he's not arresting her. He's got to have good reason because he's adamant about it. Brett Buffington, we believe that Quentin was placed in a dumpster at a, in quotes, known location that was delivered to the dump. I think they just want to get her on everything they possibly can.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if something, I'm second guessing myself. If something happened before 5:30, because supposedly Danny does not know anything about sending this text, so we're led to believe that Leilani used his phone to text Diana. Some people say it's a phone call. I've only heard Diana say she received a text.
I think I heard she got a text and then she called, maybe. But if she called, she would have talked to Danny, right?
Yeah,
So that doesn't make sense.
yeah. She found it odd, and I think just kind of went about her day, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah,
And
kind of like calling just to be like, are you sure? I mean, I can watch him if you need me to. It's not a big deal.
yeah, or I mean, but I mean, if Danny had sent the text, he doesn't seem that bright to me. But I don't think Danny would have called her at 9 o'clock and said, "Have you seen Quentin?"
No, not if he had sent the text.
You're right.
Why would she have seen him? He wasn't supposed to be there.
Mm-mm.
I mean, for all they knew, okay, she had her day free. She could have been out running errands or doing whatever. So it makes no sense.
The text makes no sense anyway, because these are not, and Danny included, these are not the type of people that care about anyone's time. And I don't think that they would be, well, let's make sure Diana knows that we're not going to need her today so she can go to the grocery store, or, whatever, early Christmas shopping, whatever. They would let her show up, and they would already be halfway to the zoo and be like, oops, sorry, we didn't need you.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
They're just not that type of people. The whole thing makes me sick. It's going to get sicker. Don't think for a minute that Billy and Leilani, that this was their last stunt. They've got more gas in the tank.
Oh, yeah.
They do. They will do something else. This is defiant behavior.
Yeah, this is one of those cases that it's going to, every day it's going to be like, okay, what are they going to pull today? What are we going to hear today?
Because if they didn't want the noise outside the house, and hey, sorry, those things happen when people get mad. They do. They'll get mad at you. They'll yell at you.
Yep.
So anyway, nobody else in the house cared because they stayed, from what I'm understanding. These two sneak out because nobody knew they were gone. They could have grabbed a bucket of chicken and gone to the Super 8 motel and just sat there quietly.
Nope, not these two.
Mm-mm.
See, we're thinking like normal people.
That's the problem.
Exactly. We don't have the same mentality, so to them, this probably made sense in some weird way. But to us, it's just disgusting.
Go and just show your ass like that. Britt said, Brooks, how did Leilani have the authority to text the babysitter anyway when Billy was supposed to be the guardian? Your guess is as good as mine, Britt. You're thinking like a normal, tax-paying, responsible citizen of the United States. You are. You're
people that follow the rules.
You're thinking of people that follow the laws around here. Billy and Leilani do not march to that drummer. But you're exactly right. She has no right. She knew she wasn't even supposed to be alone with her own child, her own children, the two oldest ones at the time anyway.
So the way I understand it, Billy travels for work or whatever. When she wasn't there, they should have been with a babysitter. Am I right on that?
Mm-hmm. The original agreement was basically 24/7 from what I understand. Something changed. I don't know if it was a money situation or I'm feeling sorry for Leilani's situation. She needs to learn. Now I'm out of the house. She needs to be responsible, know what it's like to take care of a child on her own. I don't know what the conversation really was.
That's kind of the vibe I got too, was that, she wanted Leilani, I guess, kind of to have that mom experience, maybe. I don't know. Maybe she was thinking down the line she could get custody back. Leilani could get custody back. I don't know what she was thinking, but it goes against what was ruled by the court.
Yes. And that's a big deal to some of us, And I mean, some people, we've had to be taught a lesson and we're like, I'm not going to do that again. Oh, that was really stupid. They're not wired like that. She's already got a son in jail for murder. And not that she was thinking that Leilani would do this, but when she was on the news talking, she had her hands on her hips. She was shaking her head, kind of looking up at the sky. And she's like, sometimes she does real good. Sometimes she does real bad. I don't know what to think anymore. That was raw. That was true. That was her mind going 90 miles an hour. Now that the shock has worn off, how it wore off, I don't know. Because you heard them fighting in the backyard. Leilani's yelling at her mother, "My kid is gone. Leave me alone.
Right.
My kid is gone. Leave me alone. Get off my back, Mom. Get off my back. My kid's gone." So the shock's worn off. So now we're in excuse mode. You don't understand mental illness. She can't remember.
But it still doesn't make what happened okay. That's why I still don't understand how she can go out and party with her.
No.
I mean, you're talking about, like, we learn our lessons. We're not going to do that again. Okay, if Quentin had gotten hurt, or one of the kids had gotten hurt really, really badly, but not passed away, and then she was like, damn, I can't leave Leilani with these kids. But this is the most extreme lesson this lady could ever learn. Like, look, I didn't follow what the court told me to do, and now my grandson has passed away because of it. But she's not acting like a person that learned that lesson. That horrible lesson. She's not acting that way. It's like, oh, well, like I said, life goes on, right? We're just going to go out and do our thing. It's not normal.
It's the audacity blows me away. In a way, I'm kind of glad that Billy's out showing her ass. Leilani, I'm not worried about because she's going to wind up in jail, period, hands down.
No, for sure.
But Billy, I'm kind of glad she's showing her ass and she's spitting in the face of those that make the rules that we can't have a society if we just do whatever we want to do. Well, some people be okay. We know not to infringe on others' rights. Some of us are cool with that. I'm kind of glad that she's showing them that even in the light of what's going on, I still don't care. I'm kind of glad she's showing them that. Because
it could definitely be used against her, I would think. If they bring a case against her, just her blatant disregard for law enforcement.
They're much nicer people than I am because, we're talking about this is the FBI that's involved in this. They kind of make the rules up as they go along sometimes. I would have grabbed them out of Stingrays and been like, I got a number for you. We're going to go to the waste management site and you're going to dig. You're going to ruin your new manicure. Let's go.
Right. Yeah, they must have the patience of saints because I would have snapped a long time ago dealing with these people.
Me too. You couldn't pay me enough to be a police officer in this country, anywhere.
No, I couldn't do it.
No way. There's no way in hell.
My husband, he's in the military, and he used to be a police officer in the military. And even that, I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And then when I deal with these cases, I always ask him, I'm just like, how can, and he's like, well, they compartmentalize. I couldn't do it.
No way. I don't care if it's just reading parking meters. Kiss my ass. I wouldn't do it.
Right?
No way. Well, girlfriend, I'm going to start shutting this down. I've got to get some things done around here. I got another show at 1 o'clock, so I hope everybody comes back at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, we're going to have a special guest on today. I don't cover any sort of entertainment news at all. I watch it. I see Entertainment Tonight and stuff like that. But I have been following the nasty, nasty, nasty stuff that Josh Duggar did. And he is going for an appeal. It has been reported in many publications that they're back at it again. The Duggar machine is once again trying to blame Caleb Williams, who worked at the car lot at the time. Caleb's going to be live with us today at 1 o'clock, telling his side of the story and how his life has become a complete hell because of basically they're trying to tell Homeland Security that this was Caleb that did it and not Josh Duggar.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be live today at 1 o'clock talking to him. And girlfriend, make sure when we're live, come back, grab the link. I loved talking to you today.
I love talking to you too. Thank you so much for having me.
How can we
thank your subscribers for putting up with me and my chicken and my dogs.
Steve the chicken. So you and Steve the chicken, you come back anytime.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you get some better sleep tonight.
I'll probably be asleep at 5 o'clock tonight and up at 1 o'clock. I mean, really, it's like one of the Golden Girls. I cannot believe I fell asleep at 6:30 at night.
Well, it's cold here right now, so maybe you just got all warm and cozy and just passed out.
It is, and in Oklahoma, we try to wear flip-flops till Christmas.
Oh, I know. I hate wearing shoes.
I hate wearing shoes.
I had to put socks on yesterday, and I was mad.
Me too. I've been bitching about socks all week.
I know. My husband's like, that must be an Oklahoma thing because he heard you say something about it. And I was like, yeah, it must be because I can't stand socks. I can't stand them.
It's such a messed up thing. I mean, we've had 2 cold mornings in Oklahoma, but mind you, it's mid-October, so we're not used to it yet. You would think we'd been stuck in Wyoming for months.
I know. Well, my oldest son lives in Massachusetts, and he was like, you guys are going to get a freeze before us? That's a first. And I'm like, yeah, we're not ready.
When Al Roker said it was colder in Dallas than Boston, and Al Roker doesn't lie, I was like, wow.
Yeah, my son lives right outside of Boston, and he was just blown away. And I'm like, yep, welcome to Oklahoma.
Yep. All right, girl, I'll text you right after this show because I heard something about the Okmulgee situation. So you're going to want to be in this.
Okay, I'll be looking for it. I'm getting ready to record a video, but I will text you back as soon as I'm done with that.
And we'll be watching it. Talk to you in a minute.
All right. Bye-bye.
Let's have a big round of applause for our friend, This Country Girl's Life. She's got a really cool channel. She's a cool chick altogether. So's her chicken, Steve. We got to talk with Curtis for a little bit. I think this is hitting him pretty hard because, well, he was at the house. He did meet the people, and you can tell he doesn't want to believe, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. See a lot of people in here that don't like socks. I don't like them. And I'm always the person that Christmas time, like from, we have like Secret Santa at work and stuff like that. Damn, if they don't always either give me a peach candle or socks. Just pisses me off to no end. But anyway, I'm good on peach candles and socks. Muscles and Mascara gifted 10 memberships today. Muscles and Mascara. That was beyond generous of you. You are incredible. Take care of those memberships because we have a lot of stuff going on for Halloween. Actually, all through the holidays. There's going to be the season of giving, the season of fun. You are not going to want to miss it. Members' lives are a blast. You never want to miss a member's live. So I don't have all the names. I got to go through them. Muscles and Mascara is in a lot of trouble. Well, actually, no, she's not. She's my favorite person today. Because now I'm getting mad about the people that always give me socks. Alicia, exactly. Damn vanilla candles. It's like, can you at least do like a vanilla strawberry? My goodness. So anyway, guys, set your reminder. Come back here at 1 o'clock. We're going to meet our new friend, Caleb Williams. He's going to talk about what the Duggar family has been doing to him. It is nastiness. It's terrible. In my mind, it's criminal, but we're going to be talking about it. In between, I will be talking to you guys over in the Facebook groups and in Discord. You guys are the absolute best. Best chat, best community on YouTube, and I'm not biased. I know you are. I'll see you guys back here in a little bit. Bye-bye.